Welcome back to State of the Nation. We're still analyzing the budget 2018, budgets of consolidation, with two distinguished gentlemen, one in the Lagos area of Lagos and the other with me in the studio here, and that's Mr. Adonri. Let me get your conclusion, the conclusion of your analysis on that particular question.
Like we have in the corporate sector, in government, we don't have anybody challenging the government after budget year to check the actuals with the budget. How did you do it? And what are the penalties? In the US, for example, and again, in our budget process, there are no laws governing, and that's why we have this delay. There are no laws governing when it should be submitted to the Senate and when it should be approved. In the US, you must submit the budget first Monday in February, every year, especially if it's the same government and there's no transition. But in Nigeria, we don't have that, and that is why we have delay. So for implementation, there is no law checking how approved budget is implemented. If there's no punitive measure, there's no check, there is nothing. And so any government, can have, won't have any push.
So there isn't a difference with this 2018 budget?
I don't really, but where there is a will, there will be a way. If they have the will, they can make a way.
Because we're looking at some of these issues that are coming up concerning this budget. For instance, people are talking about the differential in the exchange rate of 305, which is the official rate, and the 306, which is the actual rate. That's when you go out to the markets there.
360.
Yes, 360 naira to the dollar. How is this affecting the benchmark set in the budget 2018 as a way of getting this budget to be more implementable?
Okay, well, of course, government have tried to bring the official rate, very close to what is obtainable in the market. But of course, as a government, and of course, the way you have seen it over the year, you must have a central bank must have a benchmark, exchange rate, which is good. For me, I don't think it's going to affect anything.
Is 308, 305 hurting the economy or more, or enhancing it?
No, the 305 is not hurting the economy. It's not bad for the economy. It also gives some confidence, what the CBN has put in place.
Even though the reality is 360.
Sure, so the 360, has given the investors confidence that they can come in and they can go out at a rate that will not hurt them. You understand? So for me, the 305 is not hurting the economy, of course, rather doing better for the economy.
Let me get your input on this, Mr. Fidelis, because some concerns. I'm getting some feeders also through my system here. This brings us to the question of the existence of that particular issue when we're looking at the excess crude account once more again, largely used by governors. But if we have to look at other criteria that are coming through, the House of Representatives, for instance, has given conditions before passing this budget, one of which is barring the administration, the APC, from borrowing without first furnishing the legislature with details of the borrowing plan and obtaining approvals for any monies to be spent. We've had a situation where monies were taken out of the ACA, for instance. You say it is not an illegal account. Why is it not an illegal account when the monies in there are not budgeted for?
It's not an illegal account. It's just a collection account, isn't it? What you do with the account could be illegal. If, for example, you have monies in the ECA and you put the monies in your pocket, that becomes misappropriation. It's not because it's in the ECA, it's because there is no valid law that has appropriated it or authorized you to use it. The use that the president and the governors have put the ECA in the past is clearly illegal, because the ECA is just like any other monies in the federation account, and therefore subject to the constraints imposed on such monies. I do not believe that by the simple experience of crediting certain proceeds into an ECA account, the monies become released from the controls which the Constitution has imposed. So it's clearly a misunderstanding to think that once the monies are in the ECA, therefore they are at the disposal of the president and the governors to do as they see fit. By law, every money spent has to be appropriated, and that ECA money has to be appropriated in order for its expenditure to be lawful. What I'm saying is that the mere collection of the monies in an ECA does not free those monies from the restrictions on what they do with the monies in the federation account.
What's your views to that?
Just like yes, explained, it is the how you spend the money is a different thing entirely. I also agree that the account ECA is not an illegal account. What the challenge over the years, like I've said, is when we see that account as where money comes in and is being shared among the state government, the local government, and the federal government, and nobody monitor what is being used on. That is the problem. Is it being used to impact on the people? And that is what people are crying for. There is no impact of this excess that government gets on the lives of people, on the lives of common man. There's no impact on infrastructure. So that's the challenge we have.
What about the over 500 billion that was added to the budget? And we're looking at some of the sectors that are getting this: power, works and housing, 600. That raises its own to 682. Yep. Transportation, 251. Some argue that clearly government should not be seen to be spending 680 billion naira on road infrastructure. Instead, open it up to PPP. What's your views to that?
Well, today government is still the biggest spender, and when government spend, somehow it gets to the people. If we check the the 682 billion naira, you see the largest part. Of course, it was 714 allocated to Ministry of Power, Works and Housing, but the biggest part of it was capital expenditure, which is encouraging. What is important?
Building roads.
Exactly, build roads and some other things. But what is important is, because you can take it out of Nigeria, today we still depend so much on road transportation, and somebody, and our economy.
But is there anything wrong with bringing in the PPP elements there?
Well, there is nothing wrong, but what we should ask is the past PPP arrangement, has it performed? Who are the beneficiaries? Those are the questions we should ask ourselves. And so if government is putting it, again, what I see in this, that's another factor that people may be challenging. People may be looking at it that this is an opportunity to build money to spend for the election. That is left with the government, and again, that is where monitoring coming. Nobody monitor what is spent on what and how justifiable is what we are spending, how justifiable is this. PPP will have been very important. It will have been very good because it creates an opportunity. Somebody wants to also make money from it. It creates an opportunity to monitor what you're putting your money in. It will have been very good, but in the nation of today, what we should ask ourselves is the past PPP, how has it worked?
Let me get your thoughts, Mr. Fidelis, just before I let you go. We've getting reports that some ministries, agencies and departments of government that are responsible for raking in those needed revenues have not been able to remit over 8 trillion naira. How has that affected the budget? If you can get me clearly, I'm just asking you this question, Mr. Fidelis, that we have had this report just this morning. A lot of reports were being pushed on the newspapers, of course, tabloids, of this 8 trillion naira that hasn't been remitted by government agencies, especially to do with the revenue collecting agencies. How would that money, if the government had gotten it, how would it impact on the budget?
Well, I think it depends on the system of accounting you're using. Normally, I think the question you're asking concerns cash utilization. If, for example, I budget on an accruals basis, I have revenues which I've accrued and I have expenses which I make, whether or not I get the cash would nominally or ought nominally not to affect the size of my budget. But if you account on a full cash basis, then to the extent that someone is not remitting monies which they should have remitted, it could affect how much the government has. But you have to remember, budgets are estimated. It doesn't follow that all the cash is available to fund everything that the government has said. The government has made projections, and those projections must include the amounts which they could get from FRS, from NPA, from NNPC. If the projections are
I'm afraid that that's where we're going to have to leave it. My sincere apologies, but that's the much we can take. I do sincerely thank you so much indeed, Mr. Fidelis, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, for talking to me here on State of the Nation, and also to Oludare Donri, the Chief Financial Officer of FITSEN, and also a financial expert. Thank you so much indeed for talking to us on State of the Nation. That's how the program has been today. I want to thank you as well for being part of it. I'm Gimba Omar. See you next time for another fresh package. Bye for now.